Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing another tier list, this time of In Flames, because the new album FOREGONE finally came out. It just released today, February 10th, as I'm recording this on Nuclear Blast. We've got 14 albums to talk about, so bear with me, this might take a little bit. We'll try to be as quick as I can, while also still giving, an accurate reasoning as to why I rank the albums the way that I do. And let's start with the very first album, Lunar Strain. Came out in 1994. This album is good. It's good. I like it. It's with a different singer though. Originally, In Flames started out with Michael Stan on vocals, who you might recognize from Dark Tranquillity. And fun fact, actually, Anders, the current singer of In Flames, was the vocalist of Dark Tranquillity, so they kind of swapped vocalists there. And Lunar Strain's a pretty solid mellow death album. It doesn't really quite sound like In Flames though, mainly because of the vocals, and they also tune the guitars a little bit higher than the band typically does nowadays. I think they play D standard instead of usually C standard. Drop A sharp is typically what they play, although they sometimes go lower. But some highlights are obviously Behind Space, the album opener. It's a classic song. The title track Lunar Strain, Everlost Part 1 and 2 are pretty cool. The band's title track is In Flames. It's pretty cool. Clad in Shadows. Yeah, decent album, but not the best In Flames album. I think it's more of a C tier. I kind of just have the D tier here for just as a way to keep the video looking nice. So I don't think any of the albums are really here are deserving of a D tier, but it is what it is. Next up, we have The Jester Race, which is more like the In Flames that we know, and this album is pretty cool, I will say. Moonshield, fantastic opener. Jester's Dance, Artifacts of the Black Rain, Lord Hypnos, Wayfarer, Dead God in Me, just classic album. Graveland is really good too. The Jester Race is pretty great, and of course, on the version that's on Spotify, you got the Black Ash Inheritance EP, which is pretty neat as well. This is a lot of people's favorites, but I personally don't think it's that amazing. It's still an A tier though. It's still a really good album. S tier is just for my absolute personal favorites. Up next, we have Horacle from 1997, I believe. Yes, 97. Album's a bit of a step down. It's okay. It's fine. I like Jotun. That's a good opener. Episode 666 obviously is a classic In Flames song. I like Dialogue with the Stars is cool. Food for the Gods, The Hive, Jester Script Transfigured. Everything Counts. Yeah, this is a decent album, I would say, but it's kind of fine. I don't really go back to this one much besides episode 666, so we're gonna put it in C. C is just okay. This is fine. B is okay, yeah, this ain't too bad. And then A is okay, this is pretty cool. This is good stuff. And then S is for my personal favorites. Just so you know how the tiers work. Colony is the next album, and this one is another step up. It is really great. Embody the Invisible is it's one of my favorite In Flames songs ever. Probably the best album opener that they have ever in their entire discography. Maybe. Nah. Take This Life Opens, Come Clarity. That's probably the best one. But Embody the Invisible is great. Ordinary Story, Scorn. I love how when I could say just the songs I really like, and I'm just naming the track listing in order. That's so good. I actually prefer the re-recorded version of Behind Space that's on this album to the original, though the original's still cool. That's all I have to say about Colony. It's just a really good album, I would say. Very, very highly check it out. Do I like it more than The Jester Race? Yeah, sure. We'll put it there. Then we got Clayman, another absolute classic album from 2000. This album is pretty good, I gotta say. Bullet Ride, Pinball Map, Only for the Weak. The first 3 tracks on the album are all amazing. The title track is really great too. Satellites and Astronauts is a pretty underrated deep cut. Another Day in Quicksand. yeah, this is just very, very solid. I originally had an S tier in my original kind of idea, but like it's been a while since I've listened to this album, and I'm kind of feeling more of an A right now. I like it more than just a race, by the way. So yeah, these I'm thinking A tier for all these. And up next we have Reroute to Remain, which is probably where a lot of people got their introduction to the band, and this shows kind of their start of their transition from melodic death metal to just a more like alternative metal kind of sound. I really like the title track, System. Cloud Connected obviously is a classic song. I believe Transparent is the one that has the drop G tuning. That one's pretty cool. I like Free Fall, that one's a good one. Metaphor, Black and White. Dawn of a New Day. Trigger's another classic song. You can kind of tell which ones are the more popular when they have like over like a dozen million streams more. Yeah, I would say Reroute to Remain is another A tier album. We got Soundtrack to Your Escape coming up, and this album's fine. It's decent. It's got some good tracks. I think the first half is a lot better. Because there's Friend, The Quiet Place, Touch of Red, Like You Better Dead, My Sweet Shadow. Evil in the Closet is fine too, I guess. Borders and Shading is a pretty good song. I actually the version on Spotify is called the Quiet Place version, and it has this really cool remix of My Sweet Shadow. I just thought that was an interesting thing to add on to that. But yeah, this album is good, but it's not as good as these four right here, and it's definitely not as kind of as these two right here. So we're gonna go B tier for Soundtrack to Your Escape. Now, Come Clarity. Whenever I was doing the listening through this discography, I think this was my favorite. I have every song liked on Spotify, and yeah, I would say this is a very, very good album. Take This Life, Leeches, Dead End, the title track, Crawl Through Knives, Vanishing Light, Pacing Death's Trail. Yeah, this is just a really fucking great album, so we're gonna put it in S tier. Yeah, S tier. We're making pretty good time. Congratulations. We still got like half their discography left to go. A Sense of Purpose is the next album, and this is where they kind of fully became more alt metal, I guess. And I actually really like this album. I thought it was very good. The Mirror's Truth is a really great song. Alias, I'm the Highway, Delight and Angers. I really like The Chosen Pessimist. It's a nice long track, which In Flames usually doesn't do very long songs like The Chosen Pessimist, but it works. It's very cool. Sober and Irrelevant's good. Yeah. I don't know. In Flames isn't really a band where I love the entire album the whole way through. I might like most or if not all the songs, but I'm not like, oh my god, all of these songs are absolutely incredible. Absolute 10 out of 10. I don't think In Flames really has a 10 out of 10 on discography. They're pretty close to it, as we'll get to. But yeah, I think we're gonna go with A for A Sense of Purpose. It's pretty good. Actually, I don't know. Let's go with B for right now. Let's play it safe. Nah, yeah, B I think is a little more fitting. Sounds of a Playground Fading. This album is pretty good too. Again, leans more into that alternative metal sound, but I mean, hey, that's kind of what I got introduced to metal with, so I have no issues with that. My favorite songs on the album, I really like Deliver Us. The title track is really good. All For Me is fine. Where the Dead Ships Dwell is really cool. They played that song whenever I saw them live last year on the Metal Tour of the Year, opening for Megadeth, Lamb of God, and Trivium. Really cool song. And it's got some kind of weirder songs like The Attic, and like Jester's Door is kind of weird. It's got like the spoken word thing. Yeah, I don't know, but this album is fairly decent. I think we're gonna go with a B for that one as well. Oh boy, now we got Siren Charms. This is like probably the universally most disliked In Flames album, and I can definitely see why it's definitely not as good as the other ones, but I don't know. I kind of have a soft spot for it, I think. There's some good songs on this. I like In Plain View. Everything's Gone is really fucking heavy. I like that song. Rusted Nail. I think Rusted Nail is pretty cool. When the World Explodes, Through Oblivion. Monsters in the Ballroom. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely don't like this album as much as the others, but I don't know. I feel like it's a little overhated. But yeah, we'll go with we'll put it right here for now. And then if I feel like I gotta switch some stuff out, then we'll do that. And Battles, another pretty universally disliked album by the band, but I enjoy it quite a bit. I had fun listening to it. Obviously, there's some low points like In My Room, which is just kind of whatever. Here Until Forever is kind of whatever. But I really like songs like The End. I even like The Truth. That was like one of the first In Flames songs I ever heard, and it's pretty catchy, so I kind of got latched onto that one. But my favorite song on the record is probably Wallflower. It's the longest song on the album by a decent amount, 7 minutes, so it's another pretty long song, but it is so good. I don't know. Save Me is good. Great is Greed, one of the bonus tracks, is pretty good too. So I think we're going to put Battles, I think we're going to put it in a B tier, which is probably going to be like astronomically high compared to what a lot of other people would put in their tier list. But I don't give a fuck about that shit. My ranking is the one that matters to me the most because it's my ranking, obviously. And yeah, coming up next we have I, the Mask. The previous album from 2019. I was really looking forward to this album when it came out. I got into In Flames around 2018 or so, kind of around when the singles for this album were being released. Like I remember the day that I Am Above and This Is Our House came out. I was like, yeah, these songs are pretty cool. Yeah, not a bad song on I, the Mask in my opinion. Again, it kind of leads more into the more melodic alternative metal kind of sound, which I like. I like both sounds of In Flames. I think they're both really great. Obviously, the title track, Call My Name, I Am Above, Burn are all pretty good highlights. I even like This Is Our House. I know a lot of people really hate that song, but I don't know, it sounds so unique. It doesn't really sound like a whole lot of other songs that the band has really done. So, yeah, the riff in it is so heavy. I like it. I'm a sucker for those big, like drawn out, like chuggy power chord kind of riffs. I don't know. But yeah, Voices is a good opener. Not the best opener. You know, that goes to probably Take This Life off of Come Clarity. But yeah, honestly, this is going to be another S tier pick. Might get some shit for that, but I don't care. It's how I feel. And now we finally arrived at Foregone, the latest album. And so far, I've listened to it twice, and it is great. It is, I don't want to say it's their best album, because I don't know, I think it's still too early to tell. It hasn't even been out for a full 24 hours yet, but as I'm recording this. But yeah, I like pretty much every song on this album. Obviously, the singles are probably the best songs, like State of Slow Decay, Meet Your Maker, Foregone Parts 1 and 2, The Great Deceiver. But I really like In the Dark. That song is really heavy. A Dialogue in B-flat minor is pretty cool too. When I saw that song pop on the track list, I thought it was going to be an instrumental, and it's not, which I'm fine with. And the acoustic intro, the beginning of all things, is pretty neat. It kind of helps to set the tone of the album. And yeah, and I feel like this and I, the Mask are kind of like the perfect blend of the early melodic death metal kind of sound and the newer, more kind of alternative groove metal kind of sound for me. And yeah, I think I'm gonna put it at S tier, kind of around. I think it's better than I, the Mask. Fuck it, we're gonna put it at the top just to get some rage bait. Nah, it's fine. Yeah, this is kind of how I'm feeling right now, so just as a quick rundown again. S tier we have Foregone, Come Clarity, and I, the Mask. A tier we have Colony, Clayman, The Jester Race, and Reroute to Remain. In B tier we have Soundtrack to Your Escape, A Sense of Purpose, which I like more than Soundtrack, actually. Sounds of Playground Fading, which I like more than Soundtrack, and Battles. Yeah, I kind of like this album more than Soundtrack, sorry, but not sorry at the same time. And then in C tier we have Siren Charms, Oracle and Lunar Strain, the debut album, and I think we're gonna move Siren Charms down to there. It's probably the worst, but it's still fine. It's still a decent album in my opinion, so it's whatever. So like with all of my tier list videos, I encourage you to post your own rankings, whether or not you agree with me or disagree with me on some points. I'm more than willing to hear you guys out. And also, I just noticed I used the same tier list that Metal Trenches made for his video, so definitely go follow him. He's a good YouTuber. Check him out. He's better than me. Surely doesn't need the shout out from me, but fuck it. We're doing it. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and have a good one.